Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Miss Julie Huggins with The Bridge and Miss Beth Kersey also with The Bridge. And we are going to talk today about the candy cane shop here in Union City. It's a pleasure to have both of you on today's program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're glad to be here.
And, of course, Julie has been on our program before, and as I was saying before the program started, she is one half of last year's Pride of Obion County. Still, congratulations to that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's quite an honor. Well, as we get started with our program each week, we like to let our guests introduce themselves, and we'll do that today. Julie, I'll start with you.
Okay. I'm Julie Huggins, and I have been with the Bridge of West Tennessee now for going on 13 years, and I'm the administrator of the Bridge, and I kind of oversee pretty much every aspect of what we do. And I brought Beth with me today. She's our special projects coordinator.
And also your daughter.
Yes, she's also my daughter.
Add that in there, too. Beth, introduce yourself.
I am Beth Kersey. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for the Bridge of West Tennessee. I oversee just any kind of project that we have. We just recently had a women's retreat, and that was kind of fell into my hands. It went very well. So just any kind of little thing that we have for our residents or for the women that we minister to, that kind of falls into my hands.
Talk about the Bridge, and because it's been very successful and very much needed in this community.
Right. Well, so the Bridge has three main aspects. The first that a lot of people think about is the housing. Mm-hmm. We have two transitional homes on First Street, and those are single-family homes where a mom and her children live, and they can live there for up to 2 years. They have a program that they go through to bring them to independence in many different areas, financially, spiritually. We work on continuing education or training to get into a job that will provide a livable wage. And then also at the same time work on any kind of issues that they have that are life-controlling issues that have kept them from being successful up to that point. Mm-hmm. And the ladies that come through there do an excellent job. And then the other thing that we do is what we call consultation and classes. We offer all kinds of different classes for any woman in the community that wants to take them. We have those schedules on our website. People can go to www.thebridgewesttn.org and see the schedule for the classes that we have. And then the other aspect of our ministry is what is called the Bridge Warehouse. And that is a thrift sale type situation. We only do sales 6 times a year, so it's bi-monthly. When we do the sales, the thing that people love about it is that everything in there is 25 cents. That's clothing, shoes, housewares, baby items. With the exception of some large things that we'll price individually, pretty much everything is a quarter. And so it's kind of been nicknamed the quarter sale. Yeah. And that's what people know when we advertise it.
How did you come at that, selling everything for a quarter?
Well, it started several years ago. One of our residents, but people just started bringing things up to the front porch, because they want to donate items to our girls. And so we started having a garage sale, very small, in the carport of our family home to gather money for things that they need for like a new set of tires for a vehicle. Mm-hmm. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then we moved over to the office, and then it just kept growing and growing. And then eventually we were able to purchase the warehouse. And we just figured, sell things for a quarter. People are more willing to pay that. And it's also more helpful, especially around school time with the back to school sale. Families can't afford to go and purchase things for high dollar amounts. And so when we sell things for a quarter, it's very helpful for them.
And it's just the aspect, too, of saying you paid for something, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. People like to get things for free, but you'd be surprised, especially with this candy cane shop that we have coming up. we have a specific question on the application that is, if you could get something for free or if you could pay for it, which do you prefer? And the vast majority of people say that they want to pay for it. They want to be able to choose their own gifts. They want to be able to afford it and feel pride in the fact that they were able to give something to their family.
Now, how long have you and Brother Dan been here in Union City, did you say?
Next year will be 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah, we moved here in 2006.
I knew it'd been some time.
And it was January, so it's kind of easy to keep track.
Yeah, the start of the year.
Yes.
During your stay in the ministries, when did you realize that a program like the Bridge was needed here?
The Bridge came into existence through an effort between myself and some friends. We all attended different churches, different denominations, and we were trying to figure out something that we could do across denominations that would meet a need. We all had single moms in our churches, and so we kind of took that focus and then took about 3 years from 2012 to 2015 to figure out what that program would look like and how. I went around probably an hour radius of here to some of the bigger places like Jackson, Paducah, Paris, those type places to see what was available. And the one thing that what we call phase one, like rehabs and homeless shelters and domestic abuse shelters, they all told us that phase two was what was missing. That's kind of a step between complete oversight and complete independence, where they can practice independence but still have accountability. And so that's where we fall in. And I want to give a shout out to Leilyn Smith and what she's doing here with Outside In, because that is such a much needed thing for the women in this community. And it's such a great partnership that they can be doing what's called a phase one ministry in the rehab area, because it will go really well with moving from that type situation into a bridge home. And we've actually gotten together and talked about different things that we can do to help each other out. And we've worked together. It's funny because we both started a steering committee exactly the same year for both ministries, which is awesome that we've reached this place.
So other communities that you've visited and learned from and bounced ideas from, do they have bridge type ministries also?
They do. A lot of those places call it community living. A lot of times it's a roommate situation where you have somewhere from 2 to 4 women living together independently. They don't have their own home. And the time frame is usually about 6 months is about the longest I've seen. It could be longer. But one thing that we have found is that 2 years is a really key amount of time for somebody to be able to get everything done that they need to do to be able to truly make it on their own. A lot of these ladies need on-the-job training, or they need some kind of extra schooling because up to this point they just weren't able to do that. And they also need time to build confidence and overcome their past. That's a huge part of it. Just being able to overcome some of the hurts that they've had in the past and feel confident moving forward that they can do this on their own and build new friendships and healthy relationships with people. And it's been super successful.
It's a life changer for them, I'm
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
As for Leilyn, she has, those women are doing manufacturing work.
Yes, yes.
And it's just been amazing.
It has been.
And she was also this year's Pride of
She
Obion County.
was.
There's a pattern there, you know?
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it?
Beth, when did you begin in this work here in the community?
It's actually very funny because I always said, and she can tell you this, that I would never do what my parents did.
See, it is funny. We laugh.
Yes. I was going to be a teacher. I went to school to become a teacher. And I started with the Bridge back in 2022 as the Project Hope facilitator, which is a program that we now don't do anymore. It kind of just dissolved out. But it was at the high school. And it was a program where I went into the freshman health and wellness classrooms. And we just talked about things like emotions and drugs and alcohol and how those things go together. But since then, my position has kind of changed into special projects. And so I've been around for probably 3-ish years doing things, but now this is my full-time job. So
that's great.
I really enjoy it.
That's great, because Mom and Dad are very, very busy. They need their help.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and she has a very specific skill set too.
Yes.
I mean, as far as being able to coordinate those special events like that, that's not something I enjoy doing, and it comes naturally. So she does a great job at it.
Well, thanks to both of you and Brother Dan and everyone involved with it. And you all are here today, and we're going to talk about the Candy Cane Shop, which is holiday-based, Christmas-based. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so let's get started with the first question, and you can both chime in. What is the Candy Cane Shop?
That is our December sale, essentially, and I'll tell you kind of how it started and the concept behind it, and that way it will bring us up to now. So several years ago, back, like I said, about 2018-ish, we were doing a class at church called When Helping Hurts, and that is a poverty alleviation ministry type situation where we learn how to effectively minister to people who live at or near poverty level. And as we were going through those questions and discussing different aspects of that series of lessons, we had a couple of ladies that chimed in, and there was a story in the material that was about a church giving gifts to people who lived in a housing authority type situation, and that the dads in the situation seemingly were not there whenever the gifts were brought to them, but the reality was the dads were going out the back door when people came to the door to give the gifts away, because they just felt really ashamed. And then later on, the church felt like maybe those things weren't being appreciated enough, and so they just decided to stop doing it. And it really didn't bring those relationships closer. It kind of made those relationships grow further apart. And when we discussed that story, there were two women who told their own story of growing up in a situation where one of the young ladies said that her mother was a drug addict. She knew her mother was a drug addict, and she would take advantage of all of the giveaways around holiday times, and she would get the gifts and then return them back to the store. And knowing that her mom was doing this, it just made her feel very ashamed, and she would be the one to go to the back of the house when people would come to the door. And so later afterwards, I had a conversation with her, and she told me, she said, I would love to do something like these sales that you have, only do it for Christmas. And so we started having that conversation, and it was actually her idea to do this, and it kind of grew from there. We decided to do it one year. We had people, a lot of the people that were connected to the Bridge Ministry would shop the Candy Cane Shop, and we decided to not price anything over $10. And so we got some really nice donations of really good toys and clothes and things like that. And so people were able to shop for Christmas. And so ever since then, we've had private shopping times. This year we'll have up to 96 private shopping times. And the really neat part about that is that there's no more than 2 families in the store at one time. So there's no fussing, there's no fighting. It's not like going to Black Friday sale where you're fighting over stuff. Mm-hmm. They have plenty of time and plenty of space to choose what they want, and they can afford it. And that's the key, is that they're able to buy a really good Christmas for their family for something that they can afford. Now,
where does the merchandise come for the Christmas-based things you're doing here?
A lot of it is donations. Yeah, the vast majority of it's donations. And if we don't get donations of the actual physical toys, we get monetary donations where we can supplement things that we know that people need. So, or the most asked for items and that kind of stuff. So,
So you've been very pleased so far.
oh, it's been super successful. Yeah. And people start asking about it in August. We have an August sale and an October sale, and in August they start asking, when is it going to be? When can we get applications? And so they're well aware that it's available.
You said applications. I was going to ask you who does the shopping at the candy cane shop.
Well, the families come. It's usually parents that will come or grandparents. And when they fill out an application, we will schedule them to come ahead of time and figure out what time works best for them. But it's great to see. And last year, I filmed a quick snippet video of a few shoppers that came, and I just asked them if this was their first time shopping with us, what they got out of Candy Cane Shop. And they all just expressed their gratitude and how thankful they were for having something like this. And that it was just so great to hear, because the way that the community partners with us to be able to provide those things for them. So it's just really great to see.
I had a really neat story. There was a lady that came. She actually was coming to donate things. And when she came in to make a donation, she said, I just really appreciate so much what you did for me in the past. I want to give back. I had never laid eyes on her before. And so I asked her, I said, I don't remember your situation. Can you tell me, how did we help you in the past? And she said, back when you had Candy Cane Shop at the fairgrounds, which would have been the first couple of years that we did it, she said, I was in the domestic abuse shelter here. It was Christmas time, and my daughter was with me, and I didn't have but maybe $15 to spend. And so when I came to the Candy Cane Shop, I was able to purchase a whole kitchen set for $10. One of those big plastic play kitchens. And she said we took it back to the shelter, and she played with it every single day after that. And it's stories like that just, we hear stories like that every year of people that genuinely need this opportunity to be able to do something for their kids and do it with, prices that they can afford. So
that's great. Again, today we have Miss Julie Huggins and Beth Kersey with The Bridge, and we're talking about the Candy Cane Shop. And as you mentioned, again, people do pay for the merchandise, so that's the pride thing coming back out again for them, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Now, who is the Candy Cane Shop for? Just Obion County or for the area? Who do you serve?
No, we serve, the whole local area, not for just residents of Obion County. Anyone can come. Anyone can apply. We would like to see people from other surrounding counties come, so that we can, provide those things for them as well.
Do they need to reach out to you, because you said application is, they need to reach out in advance, correct?
Yes. Yeah, they have to. I'm not sure, but I think the deadline is...
It's November 21st.
There you go. She knows.
That's right. She's on the payroll.
That's right. That's right. She's the one that helps me stay afloat.
The deadline is November 21st, and that is actually the day of our... Well, it's the week before Thanksgiving. And so we take the applications in, and then that way it gives time for Connie to call and make appointments, because she will call everyone who has applied. Yes.
Where and how do they apply? We'll go
okay, so you can come to the warehouse, 108 East Cheatham Street in Union City, and pick up an application, or you can come to the Bridge office, 1711 East Church, and pick up an application.
Which is inside the Obion County Fairgrounds.
Yes.
Yes, where your church is there.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
Well, that is great. So, of course, I know we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and other things, but what are the dates that we start shopping here?
So
shop?
the private shopping is open December 10th, 11th, and 12th. Okay. And that is when, like Julie said, that Connie will schedule and you can come in and private shop. And then the public sale is open December 13th and 14th. And that would be our bi-monthly sale that we have for December. And that's when the public can come in and they can shop whatever hasn't been sold through Candy Cane Shop.
So you do have an open day when people can just come and browse
yes,
and shop.
Yes.
Yeah. After the private shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is there a final date? Do you go all the way up to Christmas with your sales?
It's just those 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Just those 2 days.
Yep. The last day would be December 14th, which is a Saturday.
Well, let me ask you this. People coming in and applying and doing the private and open shopping, what do you see sells the best? What is most needed?
So what we ask from the community to be able to, if people want to donate toys, is we get a lot of bikes. We have a lot of family asking for bikes because, I mean, kids ranging from all ages like to ride bikes. So we ask for those. We get a lot of different types of sports balls, footballs, basketballs, soccer balls, baseballs, and baseball bats and things like that. And then also baby dolls for, little girls of all different types, Barbie dolls, and all the baby doll things, clothes and bottles and things like that. Mm-hmm. So those are probably our the three B's, bikes, balls, and babies.
Bikes, balls, and babies.
That we ask if the community would like to donate. Those are some things that we could use all the time for this Candy Cane Shop. So
it's fair to say, or correct to say, this is based mainly for children, right?
Mostly.
For children.
We do have all the Christmas decor also. Okay. So we've got a lot of trees, a lot of Christmas decorations, and different things that you can use in the house. We have clothing. We have all ages of kids' clothing, from infant all the way up to teenager sizes. But most of it is geared toward kids. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to tell you too, because you were talking about the donations. I was going to tell you about the locations. We have locations for drop off. Obviously, you can drop off at the warehouse, which is 108 East Cheatham on the corner of First and Cheatham. And then you can also, there's a couple of businesses that are helping us out. The co-op, the Farmers Co-op, that's on Mount Zion Road, right next to Second Baptist. They'll have a big box there, so you can drop off there. Also, Napa Auto Parts, which is across from McDonald's, and that's Old Reeves Road. They're taking donations for Candy Cane Shop. And then if you wanted to come by the office at the fairgrounds, then you can drop off there also. So that's 4 different locations where we'll take donations.
And I would also like to add that these are for new, unopened items.
Yes.
If you have used donated items that you would like to donate, you can bring those to the warehouse at our drop-off container. But these locations are specifically for new, unwrapped, donated items.
Yes.
I'm glad you got that in.
Mm-hmm.
About how many people do you wind up having to shop during the period?
Oh, wow. Like I said, we have just the private shopping. We can serve up to 96 families. And then we don't count all the people that come through the sale because it's a lot. I think last year we stopped counting at 200 families.
Wow.
And that was, we counted through like the first day of the public sale and then just stopped. I mean, because it's so many. And if you average four people per family, then you've got 800 people. So it's a lot of people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I noticed here that you wanted to talk about First Responders Day, and I'm going to turn that over to you to tell us about that.
Okay, so First Responders Day is going to be on December 12th from 1 to 6 p.m., and that is just a private shopping time that we provide specifically for first responders in our area to be able to come and shop for their families. We know that sometimes their schedules are a little tricky, and so we provide that chunk of time specifically for them. So all they have to do is bring their ID, their photo ID, for whoever they work for, the fire department, police department, EMT, nurses, anyone like that can come and shop for their families as well.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, where did this, I haven't asked you, where did this idea come from?
As far as the first responders?
Well, the candy cane shop in general, just focusing on the Christmas season.
That was, like the story that I told you about the girl or the woman that was talking to us about her experience growing up, and that she wished that her mom would have bought her gifts. Because she knew that she could afford it, but she just didn't, and she was wondering what it would look like to create a situation where families could shop, but the prices would be affordable, especially things like bicycles. A bike costs $100 to $150. Mm-hmm. And so most everything at the candy cane shop is anywhere from 80 to 90% off. We don't price anything over $10. So they're getting a brand new bike for $10. And there's a limit on some of those bigger items, just so that we'll have enough for everyone to have something that's a big ticket item. But it gives people a lot of pride, and they feel like they've accomplished something, especially if a lot of the people come back from year to year and they save their money because they know that they're going to be able to shop, and they know exactly how much they can spend, and they can get quite a bit with, just maybe $30. They can purchase Christmas for their family.
Have you been blessed each year with having enough items to make it from start to finish?
Yes.
You have.
Yes, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And we are so thankful for that.
It looks like Santa's sleigh blew up inside there right now.
Oh, you're already ahead of the game.
We are
now.
already. We collect a lot of things that we know will go in candy cane shop along the way.
Okay.
So we've been saving things all year long, and we get a lot of donations.
We just had a sale at the beginning of October, and so since then, after that sale, we cleared everything out. We've started to set up all of the toys. So
yeah, it's
you may have to put
amazing.
in a mega warehouse on that property.
We are running out of room. That's the truth.
I can probably see that.
Yes.
But you know what? A wonderful problem to have.
Yes,
a great
it really
problem.
is.
Yes.
It really is.
Well, okay, we're not far from running out of time, so let's go over, Beth, if you want to, or Julie, let's talk about the shopping dates and the application period again.
Yes, okay, so the dates for the private shopping are December 10th, 11th, and 12th, and then it is open to the public on December 13th and 14th, and you can pick up an application from the Bridge Warehouse at 108 East Cheatham Street, or the Bridge offices at 1711 East Church Street, the Obion County Fairgrounds. And those are due November 21st.
And First Responders Day is from 12 to 6 on December the 12th, that afternoon.
Does it come a point where you receive a certain number of applications, you have to stop the process?
If we get to 96 families, yes.
That 96 is the magic number,
It
isn't it?
is, and something that's really, really important is to be sure to fill out the entire application. Mm-hmm. If it's not complete, then we won't take it. Okay. So we need everything filled out on there.
And this is not digital application, this is actual
It is
a hard copy.
Hard
yes,
copy.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
it does have to be signed by someone who is a referral. That can be a pastor, a caseworker, your boss, someone that can vouch for your situation that you need to come to Candy Cane Shop.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you so much. You all do so much for this community, and it's we just thank you so much.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
We're happy to do it.
And
yes.
I know you are. Thanks for coming in today and talking about this.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, our guests today, Miss Julie Huggins and Beth Kersey with The Bridge. And we hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.